the Breakin Broncos podcast. We just lost my co-host Dylan Miles here for a second. I can hear him, but we can't see him. There he goes. There he is. All right. We are back again, as always, here to talk about your Broncos. And I know it's the offseason. I know it's a grind, but we got plenty to talk about. But first, before we even get into football, as everybody in Denver today knows, the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup for the first time in 20 years. It has been a long time coming for us Avs faithful. I know this is the Broncos, but I just got to talk about it for an hour. So I wanted to give my guy Dylan a minute to tell y'all what he feels about the Stanley Cup coming back to Denver. How you doing, Dylan?
Oh, feeling good. Pretty happy, not going to lie. About time we have a team that's good for we finally have a good team in Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a Super Bowl 7 years ago, but I mean,
since then.
No, I get it. No, it's definitely nice to have a championship back in Denver. It's been, like I just said, 7 years since the Broncos were able to hoist the Lombardi over Colfax Avenue. Well, today, the Avalanche got to hoist it. I mean, how about this? The insanity of this cup. Okay, first they drop it the moment they get it. It gets sent to the wrong house when it's supposed to go to Gabe Landeskog. You have Sam Girard getting in the middle of the road downing tall boys. And then you have Bo Byram almost thrown over the barricade by the police that were supposed to be there to keep him inside the barricade.
Yeah.
Within a matter of a couple of days and hours for some of the things. Like, was this not the most entertaining and almost comical Stanley Cup you've ever watched?
Oh, it has to be. You know what the equivalent of them like busting the trophy up was when Gronk tried playing baseball with the Lombardi.
Oh my God, yes.
And put a fat dent into the Lombardi. That's still there, by the way.
Or trying to play catch across boats.
That's still my favorite like parade moment of all time. He was so hammered.
Right, that was a great one. That was great.
I think I have a picture I have to send you. It's the view from the other boat of him throwing it. It's just a still shot. And you can see his daughter yelling at him. Everybody's just staring at it, and he's just got this dumb smile on his face, tossing it. Yeah. That's what made me re-fall in love with Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, and what like people don't realize is that like it wouldn't have went to the bottom of the bay. Like, it's actually hollow. It would have floated. Insane as much as you think that how heavy that thing's got to be, it would have floated. Stanley Cup, I'm not 100% sure of, but probably the cutest thing was baby Landeskog
drinking juice out of it.
Yeah, drinking juice out of Lord Stanley's cup. That was one of my favorite videos of the day so far. After he finally got it from his neighbors. That was still insane to me. How do you send it to the wrong house? Like, I understand they live in the same neighborhood and they have similar addresses, but it's the Stanley Cup. When it's two gay guys that walk up to grab it, don't you think you have the wrong house? I'm just saying.
How surprised would you be if you were those guys?
Right?
Just to stand Lord Stanley at your front steps.
I would lose my mind, but I would not do what they did, which was open it.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said this on Sasquatch Says, just because somebody's mail got sent to your house does not give you the right to open it. It's still a federal offense. Like, and then especially if you see, I mean, it's kind of obvious what Lord Stanley is packaged in, that it's something huge and probably valuable.
Yeah.
Why would you open it? That boggled my mind. I couldn't believe it. But
it's also like when Tom Brady broke into the wrong house. Trespassing.
Well, at least he didn't get beat by a vacuum cleaner like Chad Kelly. So there's that for him.
Oh, Chad Kelly. Remember when people thought he should have been the quarterback?
Right. I mean, he had moments. He looked like he could have been good, but I mean, the moment that you get ran out of the house by a vacuum attachment, I can't go to war with you anymore, homie. I'm sorry. But I think that's enough talk about hockey. Let's get into football. Pro Football Focus is pining for the Broncos to make a move prior to training camp. They want to see former rival Anthony Hitchens end up in Denver to help shore up some of that inside linebacker depth Do you believe the inside linebackers unit is as weak as everybody thinks it is?
I don't think it's as weak as everybody thinks it is, but it's definitely weak. Last season, it was pretty solid, but you saw its flaws. And that was at most of the positions that were iffy, right? I mean, obviously, quarterback, right guard, a little bit at corner other than Surtain when everybody else was just hurt. But no, I don't think they're the weakest, as weak as everybody else thinks. But Anthony Hitchens would be a great addition to that inside linebacking crew.
I don't have a problem with Anthony Hitchens becoming a part of this roster. That's not my problem. I agree with you. I don't think it's nearly as weak as people think. We got to realize that the Broncos are putting their faith in Jonas Griffith and Josey Jewell. Josey Jewell is the one that I don't get why people are all of a sudden like turning on him. Did we not spend the entire season last season debating whether or not Josey Jewell was good? And it seemed like the majority of Broncos country loved Josey Jewell. But now that he's the unquestioned number one guy on the depth chart, now people want to have a second guess. Like, what sense does that make? Like, y'all spent the last 2 years talking about how he needed to be starting over Alexander Johnson, and now he is, and now y'all are freaking out. And we all forget that Jonas Griffith showed that he might be that dude. Like, the dude was on pace for something like 180 tackles in a full season in just the 4-game sample size that we got him after injuries. Like, there was 8 different dudes that started at middle linebacker for the Broncos last year.
As I say, it just hurts. That hurts when Josey Jewell goes out early in the season last year.
Yeah.
And
AJ. And, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, every dude got hurt but Jonas Griffith. He's the only guy that started a game at middle linebacker for the Broncos last year that didn't miss at least a game with an injury.
Yeah.
He's the only guy. And he was playing special teams because he's a special teams ace too, which is why the Broncos traded for him from the Niners. He was just supposed to be a special teams ace. And then, like I said, 7 other dudes got hurt in front of him. He got forced out on the field and then goes out for a pace of 180 tackles in a 17-game season. Like, there's obviously some talent there. I don't understand why everybody seems to have forgotten about right tackle, and now they want to focus on middle linebacker. Like, the only scary hole on this roster is at right tackle. Nowhere else scares me. They might not be the best middle linebacker crew in the league, but they are a damn good one, and it's not the weakness of the team.
I don't think anybody really remembers or really paid attention last season. There weren't many flaws, there wasn't a lot of plays to notice that they were doing bad in the inside linebacker. I mean, honestly, they were the most quiet position because they were doing their job, and that's usually how it works with the inside linebacker.
Yeah, outside of, I think, like, week 1 where we were really ragging on A.J. Johnson and his coverage ability or lack thereof, and then also Josey Jewell up until he got hurt. But after that, with Baron Browning and Jonas Griffith and Kenny Young, it really solidified the middle of that defense. And you're right. Like, after that, we really didn't talk about it much because they were doing their job. Unless it was that ridiculous game where Jonas Griffith had like 18 solo tackles or something like that. That was the only time we talked.
That was a fun game.
Yes, it was.
Which was that?
That was the Chiefs.
That was the Chiefs game. Yeah.
Second Chiefs game.
I knew it was the Chiefs, but I didn't remember which one. I couldn't remember if it was the first or the second one. Oh, I should have known that because the first one was not fun to watch.
No, it was not fun to watch, and he wasn't on the field outside of a handful of special team snaps on that one.
And, I mean, I'm excited to watch him this season. Yeah, I'm excited to watch him this season, and it's fun to see these small name guys get their chance. I mean, look at it, like Baron Browning,
low round draft picks. Yeah, I love those
Jonathan Cooper, all those guys last season on that team were just absolutely fantastic. And once again, I loved it. I love and will keep saying this. It's the George Payton effect. It's his guys. You can see who are always guys out there. Some of them are shining, right? Like a Justin Simmons, right? For example, or a Kareem Jackson when he brought him in free agency. These guys, but no, when you look at, who George Payton's guys are because they're 100% going at it the entire game. And there's another way to put it, really. It's just the guys that are talked about the most are George Payton drafted or free agents.
Yeah. The best way I can put it is like you can see the differences between Elway and Payton, and like the differences you can see between a Giancarlo Stanton and Jose Ramirez. Like they're both great. Yeah. They both had great moments.
That's a good comparison.
Aaron Judge, he's going to strike out a lot. He's going to hit the 500-foot blast, but he's also going to strike out 5 times in a game.
Every Jose power hitter ever.
Exactly. Jose Ramirez, he's a big power hitter. He'll hit the 500-foot home run, but he's also very consistent. He's also a 300 hitter. So he's going to get a bunch of singles and doubles. Payton is Jose Ramirez. Elway is Giancarlo Stanton. Elway, when he hits the home run, it's majestic, it's beautiful, it's the Justin Simmons, it's guys of that nature. But he's also going to strike out the Paxton Lynches. Go down the line there. With Payton,
my God, dude!
He hits the home runs.
That was
Pat Surtain, Russell Wilson, but he also hits the singles and doubles. Jonathan Cooper, Baron Browning, Jonas Griffith, Kenny Young. So he does all of those great things.
Right.
And he's consistent.
John Elway was definitely at GM was better at finding free agents than he was draft picks. But then when it comes over to George Payton, he's better on both sides. He's good at finding free agents, and look at the draft: Javonte Williams last year,
and
Baron Browning, and trade.
The man. There's nothing the man can't do as a GM. Like he is the 5-tool player equivalent of an executive, as like you were talking about, like a Carlos Gonzalez in baseball, the 5-tool prospect. He is the 5-tool executive. He just does everything at an exorbitantly high level.
And he's kind of like a GM straight out of the 90s, right? Not talking about anything until after it's done.
Exactly.
Nobody, I was so focused on Aaron Rodgers, I think like the rest of us were, from the span of the end of February after the Super Bowl until March 6th was when they,
and especially after
March.
Hackett was hired, nobody.
You're like, it's a done deal.
It was over. That's why they got Hackett.
And then they come out and Aaron Rodgers says he's staying in Green Bay. We're like, I guess Drew Lock. We could run it back one more year with Drew Lock. Not even 10 minutes later, Broncos trade for Russell Wilson. You go,
and exactly what I said was going to happen happened.
And then you hear right, and you're just like, wow. I wonder how long this has been going on. A month of negotiations. Russ broke his no trade clause for Denver.
And that was like the biggest back and forth I had, especially with people that thought they were insiders on Twitter, was they'd be like, oh, nobody's talking about Russell to Denver. I was like, yeah, because Payton doesn't let stuff like that leak. I'm like, if you're hearing that Payton is having discussions about something, it's because he's told somebody to lie to you. That's how it's turned out. Like, essentially, if you hear anything come out of Dove Valley, expect it to be a lie, because they're trying to send you in misdirection.
Unless the only person I trust is a Rappaport.
Right. But even nobody.
Yeah, even him. Yeah, I was going to say even him. None of them know.
Nobody had the scoop on Russell Wilson coming to Denver.
And I just love that. What's still amazing is George Payton's just a sweet talker. He knows how to please you.
He does.
And
the man
for him to
get a wordsmith, obviously,
to get him to break his no trade contract, and also Russ had to obviously see something in Denver, which he definitely did. That's the reason he's here. Is like when Payton came over, he saw opportunity with that Denver team. Look at all the star players. When you take out Tebow and you add a Peyton Manning, it became a super team.
Yep.
With Tim Tebow, it's just an average team.
Yeah, it's why it's a quarterback-driven league. That yes, you can win with an okay quarterback, say an Alex Smith or somebody of that caliber, and every once in a while you can catch lightning in a bottle and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, like a Alex Smith, Matt Hasselbeck,
right, or Trent Dilfer winning a Super
Trent
Bowl.
Dilfer,
Those things can happen, but to be a consistent,
Dilford.
constant competitor, then you have to be like the Patriots. You have to have that all-time great quarterback that's willing to take a little bit less money to help fill out the roster in other areas, and then you can constantly compete in the salary cap.
I mean, all the greats have done
Again,
that.
we don't believe that salary caps exist, but we still have to act like it.
Right. I mean, like all the greats have done that. All the great quarterbacks. You look back at John Elway; he gave up money so Howard Griffith and Neil Smith could come to Denver. It wasn't about money at that point. Peyton gave up money to get players into Denver. I mean, obviously Brady he should have 3 times what he already has in money, and gave it up to get players there to help win, because it's not about money to him. It's not about the stats. It's about winning.
Nah. He's already getting all that other money everywhere.
That's what I love about Tom Brady. It's not about getting the MVP awards. It's not about all that, stats. Yeah, not
the individual accolades.
It's just, I won a Super Bowl, and that man's won 7, and nobody knows how to replicate it because they aren't Tom Brady.
Well, I mean, everybody knows how to replicate it. It's just a matter of whether or not you're able to find a quarterback like a Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's willing to take the lesser.
And
deal.
Nowadays,
when does it happen anymore? I mean,
doesn't.
Dak Prescott didn't take a haircut. Russell Wilson's not going to take a haircut. He never has. He never will. You go to Aaron Rodgers, definitely never has and never will.
Brett Favre had, though, actually. That's another good one.
Brett Favre kind of did. I think Matt Stafford, maybe. Yeah, he's probably
He did in Detroit. Example. He definitely did in Detroit.
And he did here in LA. He took less, but he's still only just barely inside the top 10 of top paid quarterbacks, because he knows he's getting hundreds of millions from AT&T and whatever other business that's throwing money at him to endorse their products, because he's the Super Bowl winning quarterback. He did it smartly. That's the reason him taking that less money is the reason why they were able to keep Aaron Donald and sign Allen Robinson and extend
Cooper Kupp contract is insane.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, to think that you're going to have him and Allen Robinson, we always talked about him and Robert Woods. Allen Robinson is on a completely different level than Robert Woods. I love Robert Woods, but the fact that they swapped teams too is hilarious.
Can we talk about this BS of a year St. Kroenke's had?
I know, right?
You're hosting a Super Bowl in your own stadium, winning it, and then when he secured the FIFA World Cup for 2026, I believe.
Yes, and same stadium.
Same stadium.
He won the Major League Lacrosse championship.
With the Mammoth.
Yeah, and he won the championship with the Rapids.
Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup. And then what was the other? There was something else he did too. It's insane to think that after that list of things, there was still something else as impressive. Yeah. But there was also something else on that list. The man is on top of the world. Nobody can tell him nothing. Nathan.
But I'll give him props, man. I'll give him props.
I ain't got no hate. I'm just saying, can't nobody tell him nothing. He knows how to run a franchise, no matter what type of franchise that is. NFL, NLL, NHL, it doesn't matter.
Man just needs an NBA
knows
team.
What he's doing. He does have an NBA.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He does. What am I talking about?
The Nuggets.
Yeah. No, it's his team, but it's technically somebody else's.
I mean, it's technically in his son's name, because with the technicalities of the NFL and owning multiple franchises, to own the Rams, he had to put the Nuggets, Rapids, Mammoth, and Avalanche all in his son Stan Kroenke's name, so that way he could own the Rams. So his name's on the Rams, Stan's name's on the Rams. Josh, the son, his name is on all the other teams. Yeah, just Junior. So that way, they could run through the loopholes of NFL ownership when he bought the Rams. So yes, technically it's in his son's name, but they're still his teams.
Now all that man needs is for the Nuggets to win one.
Right? I mean, that's the only thing he's missing off the mantle is that NBA final.
It's true. You know what? Might as well buy the Rockies while you're at it.
I wish he would. but unfortunately, that is Monfort's only source of income because he sold agri-foods several years ago.
Yeah.
So his only source of income is the Rockies and McGregor Square. So honestly, until the man dies, and we probably go through something similar we went through with the Bolin kids with his kids,
Yeah.
that it's just not going to happen. I
If
hate to say it. I will probably not, I will die before the Rockies win a championship at this rate. As long as the Monforts
we
own
got to
them,
see them in one. We got to see them in
we got
one.
to see
That's
them
all I
in
got to
one,
say.
and then get swept right the hell out.
After they
Yeah.
swept everybody else to get there.
Everybody won 21 of 22 games and then get swept out. Yes.
I'll never forget it. That was
an insane ride,
fun,
man.
fun fall.
Oh man, I was unloading trucks at Walmart at that point. Like
October, baby.
So, yep, I remember that because I was in Florida. I was unloading trucks, and I had a guy that was a Red Sox fan. So we went through the whole playoffs, making little bets and stuff here and there. And then I got completely rocked in the freaking World Series when his team swept my team. That was not fun.
Big Poppy.
Right, yeah, Big Poppy and the idiots.
Manny Ramirez, dude, never forget.
Yes, yeah, Mr. Roids himself.
Yeah.
But moving on from all of that, let's go ahead and talk about some fun stuff. We're going to talk about what 3 players would you steal from each division rival if you could, kind of like a fantasy draft. Because I wanted to see who each of us would take off of each team because I thought it'd be interesting. And then I also wanted to hear what you guys as fans, who you would take from each team. So I'll start off at first. We're going to go with the Chiefs player. The guy I'm taking is Lucas Niang. That is their right tackle for obvious reasons. He's a very good right tackle, has been a top-tier tackle since they drafted him. He is a perfect bookend to Zeus Brown Jr. down there in Kansas City. So I would love to take him from that offense, put him at the right tackle. I think he would be the perfect pairing in this offense because they run a very similar outside zone scheme in Kansas City. It's the perfect fit in right there at the right tackle, the biggest hole in the roster. How about you, Dylan? Who are you taking from the Chiefs?
I mean, I can't disagree with you. I have to go with that too. There's just nobody else I think that could be useful. Not in a bad way. That's just in a spot that we already have filled. And right tackle is what I'm looking for the most, and he's definitely the best out of the division.
I'm honestly surprised you didn't go Chris Jones.
I thought about it.
That front 3, because that was my second choice.
And I'll get into it for my next one.
I got you. Yeah, but I was just thinking like Chris Jones, DJ Jones, and
the Joneses.
Draymond Jones. The Joneses across the line. Yeah, that would be sick. But anyways, all right, I'll let you go first. Chargers, go ahead.
Joey Bosa, and that's the exact reason I didn't take Chris Jones there, is I'll throw Joey Bosa in there, man's an animal. Obviously would fit in very well with that defense and in that scheme. Yes. But no, definitely Joey Bosa, just because I don't see me taking Chris Jones, and we're getting the right tackle out of it anyways, so fill in the hole.
Right. Yeah, fill in the holes. A pass rush trio of Bosa, freaking Chubb. I don't know why that name went out of my head. And Randy Gregory would be sick because they would all 3 be on the field at the same time, because Joey Bosa normally plays with his hand in the dirt. So having those guys on the outside with Bosa wrecking shit in the middle would be absolutely insane. Next up is the Raiders, and shoring up one of the other few holes that has me a little worried. I do love Albert O, but Darren Waller is another beast. That man, I just absolutely love to watch him play the tight end position. I love him more than Travis Kelce and the Gerald Everett. That was the other guy in L.A. For the Chargers. But yeah, Darren Waller, I think him paired with Albert O, Greg Dulcich, freaking Cortland, Judy, Hamler, Patrick, that would be the nastiest pass offense.
Yeah, that would be dirty.
In the league. You would literally have a mismatch across the board. There would not be a single place that that Wilson could not look on the field and be like, my guy's better than your guy on almost every single snap. So I think those three players thrown in on this roster, guaranteed Super Bowl.
Darren Waller's
just
a cheat
those
code.
three guys. Yeah, that's Mutt championship written all over it.
For me, I was between Devontae Adams but I don't think we need a Devontae Adams because we already have good receivers, obviously. I want to go with a Max Crosby.
I'm not mad at it.
I throw Crosby out on the edge on the other side of Chubb or Randy Gregory and let them go.
Well, Max Crosby, with his size, you could actually throw all four of those guys out there at once.
Yeah.
You can have Crosby and Bosa as the defensive ends, have DJ Jones, Draymond Jones, and those guys swap in and out at the nose tackle position, and then Chubb and Gregory on the outside. Those four guys on the field, that's gross. That's just gross. That's not even fair.
Yeah. I would have gone with Devontae Adams. Let's just say this is all theoretical if this was the case. Yeah. That's like if, say, some of the Judy stuff went south. Oh, Devontae Adams for sure.
Oh, dude, Devontae Adams, I mean, even with he's
even with that
number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the automatic number one wide receiver. Like, he is the best wide receiver in the AFC
and then just
West.
Look at that depth you have.
But with the Raiders, after you get past Renfro, there's not really anybody there. So I will say the Raiders have the best wide receiver in the division. The Broncos have the best wide receiver room in the division.
And the Chiefs just have Patrick Mahomes.
Essentially, yeah.
So we'll see what happens this season for them.
Yeah, I am not impressed whatsoever with their wide receiver.
I mean, with Patrick Mahomes,
Nicole Hardman.
Yeah, Nicole Hardman.
Has a chance, but I mean, when you got teams that are doubling him because they're not, and I mean, there's still Kelsey, of course, and all that, but yeah.
I mean, you got plenty of guys that can cover him this year.
Yeah, exactly. I am not nearly as worried about the Chiefs as I was before the Tyreek Hill trade.
And this is what happens.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you pay a quarterback $500 million.
You got to let some people go. And I know people are going to want to talk about, they got Sky Moore. Sky Moore is not Tyreek Hill. Sky Moore is KJ Hamler, not Tyreek, which is still a good guy. Well, we love KJ Hamler. I'm not trying to slight the man, but there's a difference in talent level when you go from KJ Hamler to Tyreek Hill.
And personality.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'd rather have a Tyreek Hill with a KJ Hamler personality, not gonna lie.
I can't lie at all. On God. But moving on from three players you would love to have to three players that you would love to see gone, unless you're us and watching it from afar, is what are the three most overrated AFC rivals in the AFC West? So, again, I will go here. First off, Chiefs, Frank the Tank. I know you could probably snap me in half, but I don't care, dude.
Frank Clark is a scary man, though. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. I ain't trying to front and say that I'm the tougher man in the situation. I'm just gonna say, Frank Clark, you have not been the man since you signed that big contract in Kansas City. He played all of, I think, 7 games last year. He has only had double-digit sacks 1 year since signing that contract. He has been absolutely, by far, the most overrated and overpaid player on a very good roster there in Kansas City. So to me, it's Frank Clark. You have somebody else?
Miko Hardman.
Ooh,
and here's why.
Okay, I want to hear. I'm gonna sit back.
We saw him play last season, right? Obviously amazing. I mean, he's pretty good, right? But look at all the receivers that were around him. He wasn't getting as many as the passes. He was not getting as many as the passes, and now he's going to be your number one receiver. He's going to see probably triple the passes that he saw last season, and we're going to see, he's not going to be as productive when you're at the number one receiver spot.
Yeah, triple the passes, but also triple the coverage, like we were just talking about earlier. Like I do. Now, I will agree with you from the fact that watching Chiefs fans talk about McCole Hardman like he is the second coming of Tyreek Hill, I will agree with you. Especially just from the fans' perspective, he's overrated. So, I mean, as much as that might be a shock to the system originally to think, McCole Hardman being the best wide receiver in that room, yeah, I agree. I think he just might be the most overrated. Next up, we have the Chargers. For me, and it pains me to say this, I say this with all due respect, but I'm about to be real disrespectful. Khalil Mack. The man has been absolutely worth every penny he has ever been paid. He is absolutely worth the number 4 pick in the draft, which is where he was drafted by the Raiders, then Oakland, now Las Vegas. So, as much as it might be crazy to think that dominant pass rusher is overrated, he kind of is, and that's just from age. He's just getting old. The man's in his early 30s. I know that sounds young, but in the NFL, that's getting old.
That man couldn't kill Aaron Rodgers when he had a broken leg. I mean,
I'm just saying. So with
that was still one of my favorite games I think I've watched. That wasn't a Broncos game.
Yeah, and the fact that he's only played, I think, 7 games in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
As we were just talking about Frank Clark, only 7 games last year. He's played in 7 games the last 2 years, so he can't stay on the field. And we all know the greatest ability is availability. So he hasn't cracked double-digit sacks in 3 years. He hasn't had more than 5 sacks in 3 years. So with all of that being the case, for him to have garnered as much as he got, as much as the Chicago Bears got, I should say, for trading him to Los Angeles, they really kind of got a coup, because this man, at this point, is no longer the best defender in the league. He earned his Defensive Player of the Year, but he's no longer the Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, watching, I have to agree with you on that. My number 2 would have been Austin Eckler, probably. I mean, as much as I like the guy, he's
right.
Colorado born and raised out in Eaton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but sure, he had those few good seasons. They were very fun to watch, very impressive. But look at the numbers he's put up over the past 2 seasons. He's been hurt. They're still hyping him up, and the injuries just seem to keep coming back to him. I'm going to go with Austin Eckler.
I got you. Availability, it's a key cog in anything, no matter who you're talking about. And the next one, I don't think we're going to have much of an argument here. The Raiders.
Derek Carr.
Yes, it has to be. It has to be. The man just keeps getting paid, even though he has not, in the words of Nathan McKinnon, ain't won shit.
Derek Carr or Hunter Renfrow.
I mean, I don't think
a little bit of Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, he might be a little bit, via fans, but I mean, I really like Renfrow, and I think he deserves a lot of
I do like watching him. I do agree with that. It's just they overhype him. They overhype him enough for me to be like, he's not that good.
Yeah,
I know he's good. Yeah,
but the thing is he's not the one getting multi-$100-million contracts.
Yeah, I mean, and putting up those numbers for that is amazing.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, yes, Carr has, when it's all said and done, after all garbage time is accumulated, he puts up some decent stats. But when you look at the numbers that he has against actually good teams, when you put him up against the Aaron Rodgers and the Tom Brady's of the world, he disappears. He just disappears. He cannot rise to the occasion. You've seen it the 2 times he's made it to the playoffs, and he gets bounced in round 1.
Well, the first time he didn't even get to play because he broke his leg.
Oh, that's true, right? Yeah, the last week.
So this was the first time he ever got to play in the playoffs, but second appearance.
Yeah, and then got booted immediately. So the man just they want to say he's a winner, but he's not won anything ever. He didn't win anything in high school. He didn't win anything in college, and he hasn't won anything in the NFL.
But the thing about Derek Carr
labeled as a winner?
Yeah, I don't know. But the thing about Derek Carr this year, I mean, he gets to play with Devontae Adams, former teammates too. Yeah, but I still agree he's so overrated. But I'm interested to watch him play this year. I'm kind of not going to lie. I would like to watch him play with D. Adams just to see if their chemistry stands. Yeah.
If you're a great quarterback, you don't need Devontae Adams.
Exactly.
To be great.
I want to see that chemistry, and I want to see how overrated he actually is, because Devontae Adams, he'll make him look good.
He'll It'll make him
It's
look
like
damn good.
it's
DeAndre Hopkins in Houston with all
Yes.
of those quarterbacks.
Yeah, Brock Osweiler,
Name
Deshaun,
them, all of them.
yeah, Deshaun. I mean, geez, I mean Deshaun is pretty good. Was pretty good. I don't know. Man's
That was
like
a special connection. But I mean, that shows you what happens when you
happy
take
endings,
a great
yeah.
quarterback and a great wide receiver and put them, or Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams for all those years. Yes, when you put when you get greatness and you put them together, you get great.
I mean, Peyton Manning, Wes Welker.
There you go.
Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas. Tom Brady, Wes Welker. Tom Brady, and what was it?
Julian
Brown.
Edelman.
Julian Edelman. Brown. What was his?
Deion Branch.
Brown.
I mean,
why am I? There was a Brown. I always forget his name.
Brown, I think.
Troy Brown. Yeah.
Is it Troy Brown? I think so.
Troy Brown.
Yeah, because the guy that won the MVP for the Super Bowl.
Because they didn't want to give it to him back to back.
Yep.
Even though he definitely deserved to win that one back to back.
He really kind of did.
He didn't. Nobody should have got the MVP after Super Bowl 53.
Not really. No, but it should have just went to, like, I don't know, the mascot.
Belichick.
He says Belichick. That's better than me. I just said give it to the damn mascot. Yeah. You're nicer than me.
Just give it to Mr. Kraft and just say nice, happy.
MVP.
What's it?
Yeah, it was Deion Branch.
I would have thought it would have been Troy Brown.
Yeah, no, it was Deion Branch. But anyways, I just had to double check that so I could be sure. But yes, I hear you. So, moving on from other
I don't want to talk about the Raiders anymore.
Dynamic duos. Oh, we missed messages. I apologize. Hi, my guy. We appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate the work. This guy right here, guys. Y'all want to know where all these logos and stuff came from? Except for this one. This is the only one he did not make. This is the only one he didn't make. But all the rest were made by this man right here, Chris Edge. So if y'all need some logos made, just let me know. I got the guy, and he does them for a great price. But anyways, moving on from other teams' dynamic duos over to the Broncos' dynamic duos, just like us, is the Broncos running back crew. There's been a lot of talk. Are they the best running back duo in the league? So, Dylan, are they? And if so, why?
That's tough. That is tough. A part of me wants to say yes, but a very big part of me wants to say no. But I can't really think of any running back duos off the top of my head. I can just think individuals. That's about it.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you the backup to Derrick Henry right now.
I couldn't tell you his backup, but I can tell you 3 running backs in Cleveland. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and Dearness Johnson. So, yes, do the Broncos have the best duo in the league?
Yeah.
I will say yes. But do they have the best running back crew in the league? I have to give it to Cleveland. I have to give it to Cleveland. They have 3 guys capable of 1,000 yards rushing. They have 3 guys that have had 180 yards or more rushing in a single game.
We don't play them this year, do we?
I don't think so, and I'm so glad we don't. Number one, I don't want to deal with the circus and happen to talk about it.
Yeah.
But that running
I don't want
back
to talk about happy endings too.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't ever want to hear the word or the phrase happy endings again in my life. Like, I still can't get over the fact that a lawyer that passed the bar said that in public.
No, they don't play them.
People.
Yeah. Okay. In a courtroom too, by the way.
Jesus. Yeah, and in the courtroom. Like he said it in the courtroom and then doubled down in public. Like,
you know, if the Johnny Depp trial wasn't going on, that would be the new trial of the century.
It really would.
I'm calling the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial the trial of the century. It's replacing OJ because we're in a new one.
Oh my God. It is the most entertaining trial ever. The mega pint I will never get over. Where does that word even come from? What's a mega pint? Can somebody please
It's got to be Australian, right?
It's got to be. Either Australian or Irish.
I love Aussies, dude. Aussies are the best.
Aussies are the best. Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Yes.
Just going to go do a shoey after this.
I can't go that far into the Aussies. No, can't do it. Not happening.
We're doing one on the deck.
He does it with the sweaty, nasty sock. So, yeah, no, gross.
But I'll just go buy us some like $20 shoes from Walmart and we'll just do it for the deck. Let's go with like the dad mowing shoes.
I might do it out of a brand new pair of shoes. You might be able to get me out of that, but I'm not taking it off my foot, and I'm not pouring a beer in it.
Crazy.
And
That's the only way I do it. It's flavor.
No.
What?
Yeah, the flavor. That's what we're gonna call it. Flavor.
It's got flavor, dude. Oh, you're on about. A little kick. Has a little extra kick.
Just a little extra kick.
The alcohol kills out all the germs. You're fine.
I like what you did there. Yeah. The little extra kick.
Just like cleaning your shoe. It's alcohol. You're fine.
Damn best. So it looks like we both agree Broncos had the best duo, but not quite the best running back room. Just simply because, again, I mean, as much as we love Mike Boone, do we really think he's as good as Dearness Johnson? As much as
we haven't seen as much of him.
Right.
And we got to see those shining moments during the season, especially those weeks that Melvin was hurt.
Flashes. Yeah.
I mean, at the Chiefs game when we thought that was Javonte.
Right. So, do we think that Melvin Gordon's better than Kareem Hunt?
Not by a long shot.
Now, do I think Javonte Williams is better than Nick Chubb? That's an interesting
I got an argument. I can make an argument.
That's an interesting debate. Yes, I can make an argument for actually both of them.
But because I mean, you look at it so many ways. I mean, obviously Nick Chubb's been in the league longer. You know, this is going to be his 5th season, and I mean, look at the numbers he's put up. But look at what Javonte did last year, and his rookie season was impressive and probably better than Nick's rookie season.
Yes,
I mean, but you know, 4 seasons compared to 1
between the two.
Yeah,
because like the reason you might like Chubb more than Williams is Chubb is a little bit shiftier and he's a bit faster.
Yep.
But then you look at Javonte, he's sturdier, he's more reliable, he's available. You know, best availability. So you know,
he's also just a
more powerful. Yeah, he's just a beast. I just retweeted. Like, go to the Twitter. I just retweeted that Javonte Williams, per Pro Football Focus, was the most elusive back in the league, as well as led the league in broken tackles with half the workload. Like,
it is. Yeah.
Again, just splitting hairs between the two. But again, I'm gonna take my guy. I like the smash mouth of Javonte over the elusive, fast, quick twitch of Nick Chubb.
No,
that's just my personal preference. But you can't really go
Javonte
wrong
all day. No, you can't. You know, if I had to pick between the two, it's gonna be Javonte all day.
Yeah.
But if I just had Nick Chubb and there was no choice in between them, like, okay, like,
yeah, but it's just more of a personal
you think
choice.
I'm gonna be mad about that? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just really a personal choice at that point. And like you said, are you gonna be mad? No. Who the hell would be? If you are, bro, I am sorry that you were a miserable human being.
He's one of my favorite.
Happy.
One of my favorite running backs, definitely in the league, is a Nick Chubb because he's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, he's just so fun. I mean,
every time he touches the ball,
he reminds me of like Earl Campbell. Like, that's who Nick Chubb reminds. Nick Chubb and Javonte Williams are both in that same type of category where they remind me of that Earl Campbell. Like, they'll run you over as well as dance around you and then run by you all in the same run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just so much fun to watch. We talked about it when we watched games live. Like, we'd be like, dude, a 2-yard run was fun. A negative 2-yard run by Javonte Williams.
A yard that should have been 4 to 5 yards turned into 30.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, there's just so much fun when it comes to Javonte Williams. You just never know when he's going to run slap through 5 men, snatching their souls and making sure they can't go home to their wives and family later that night because he just jacked their man card on national television. Like, you just never know.
I wouldn't even go inside. I pull into the driveway and I just sit in the car.
Right.
No music. The car's off. I'm just sitting there
just contemplating your life choices. Exactly. I love it. Perfect analogy.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to go inside at that point.
Right? Like, is the wife going to send me back home? Or is he already in the house with my wife because she decided to choose him over me because he's more of a man at this point? Like, yeah, no, he snatches souls, cards, all that junk. So I think we both agree. Williams we're going to take, but not quite. Like, everybody needs to just pump their brakes. The Broncos are really, really, really good, but they haven't proven anything. They're really good.
We're good on paper. Good on paper.
Yes.
We still,
but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Exactly. Dude, we're 2 months away. We're 2 months away.
We are 3 weeks away from training camp.
And we're 2 months away
from the regular season. Like, let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes just a little bit. So, and I think that's perfect analogy to put it. We're going to pump the brakes in the episode right here. This is a perfect place to go ahead and send ourselves off to the weekend after the great parade we all enjoyed this morning. Stanley Cup is back in Denver. We got 3 weeks before we get on a trip to maybe getting a Lombardi in Denver, because as the Avs told the Broncos, they're next. So let's see what happens. Let's ride out this off season together. We will be back again here next week, again on Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30 here with Dylan on the Breakin Broncos podcast on the Answers 42 network. Make sure you hit all the buttons, likes, subscribes, all those things. Launch the nukes. And as always, don't question the blue.